And we are back with more Philadelphia Phillies offseason talk. I know we all wish they were still playing right now in the playoffs in pursuit of a World Series championship, but that is just not the case, unfortunately. So, with that, welcome into Phillies Daily, everybody. I'm your host, Mike Hennelly. Make sure you guys subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. The playoffs are still going on here in the 2025 season for Major League Baseball. Now, I should say, this video is being uploaded Wednesday for Wednesday's video. I'm making this on Tuesday, so I don't have all the information for you if you're really leaning on this for your playoff updates. But nonetheless, the Seattle Mariners and the Toronto Blue Jays are facing off in the ALCS. The Mariners beat the Blue Jays in Game 1, 3-1. They won Game 2, 10-3. So now the Mariners do lead the Blue Jays in the ALCS 2-0 in that series. They will be playing here on Wednesday, Game 3, 8:08 p.m. here in Seattle. So the Blue Jays lost 2 home games. They go to Seattle now with the Mariners up 2-0 in front of their home crowd. They are up 2-0. Wednesday here, 8:08. Game 4 will be tomorrow. If the Mariners are able to win and go up 3-0 against the Blue Jays here on Wednesday, they can go for the sweep and end that ALCS tomorrow on Thursday in Game 4. That will be 8:33 start time in Seattle. Now in the National League, in the NLCS, unfortunately not the Phillies, but it is the Los Angeles Dodgers versus the Milwaukee Brewers. The Los Angeles Dodgers did beat the Brewers in Game 1 of the NLCS 2-1 Monday night to take a 1-0 series lead over the Brewers. Game 2 was or if you're watching this on Wednesday, which you are probably, happened on Tuesday night, 8:08 p.m. there in Game 2 between the Dodgers and the Brewers. Now, I did mention I'm making this Tuesday, so obviously the game did not happen yet, but this video is for Wednesday. So, Game 2 happened last night, Tuesday night, 8:08. I'll update you with who won that ball game, but the Dodgers are up 1-0 in that series. Game 3, they are off here on Wednesday. Game 3 will be tomorrow, 6:08 p.m. So, both the ALCS and the NLCS have games on Thursday. So a little bit of baseball. You got some Thursday night football as well in the NFL. So a lot of sports going on in that aspect. But moving on to the Phillies. Obviously, this offseason can lead to a lot of change. We do know that Rob Thomson will be back as the Philadelphia Phillies manager here in 2026 next season. A lot of people wanted him gone. A lot of people said give him some more time, 4 consecutive playoff appearances. Trip to the World Series in 2022 when he took over mid-season, 2 straight NL East championships, division titles for him. But obviously this championship caliber team could not get it done and could not win a World Series and kept losing early and earlier each year in these last 4 years. Just unfortunate stuff, but he will be back as the Phillies manager in 2026. That was already reported on Monday afternoon. Rob Thomson, again, will be back. But with that decision, I believe it's more important than ever to move on from certain guys that are free agents here for the Phillies, retool this group, not necessarily rebuild because you have these massive contracts, these massive star players in Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, your starting pitching's locked up, Zach Wheeler, if he can come back healthy, Aaron Nola, Christopher Sanchez, all these guys. You still have a very good roster, a very good team. So you can't just go rebuild mode because you have these guys under contract. You have these guys ready to win now. So you kind of have to move on from certain guys that are aging, that haven't been getting the job done here for the team over the last couple of years in this core group, and kind of just retool, maybe use that money you're saving on these guys, letting them walk, and put that money elsewhere to potentially younger guys or guys at positions of needs that have had prior success and some of the top players at that positions. So again, I believe it's more important than ever to kind of move on from these guys, especially now with Rob Thomson coming back. You can't just keep running back this same team, the same coaching staff year after year and expect different results because obviously they made it to the World Series in 2022, lost obviously there, but that was kind of a Cinderella run. Nobody really expected them to do that, so that was fun. Got close again in 2023, 1 win away from a 2nd consecutive World Series appearance. Just unfortunate stuff there, but they had higher expectations than ever with the team going into 2024 and then again in 2025. And obviously, both of those seasons ended in an NLDS exit. So obviously, things aren't working. You're bringing your manager back, so you have to switch up this roster, this lineup. And that starts with possibly letting Kyle Schwarber walk, possibly letting JT Realmuto walk, possibly letting Ranger Suarez walk, possibly trading Nick Castellanos, possibly exploring trades with guys who kind of had up and down seasons, kind of disappeared in playoffs in the big moments. such as Alec Boehm, such as Brandon Marsh. Those names have been in trade rumors as well in the past. So you can't keep running back this same team, this same lineup. You got to switch things up. Probably not going to let all of those guys leave, but it is important to explore those options, letting these free agents possibly walk, using that money to bring in other talent that can help you right now to win a World Series championship, bring in some fresh faces, some new life, new energy to this clubhouse, to this lineup, to this pitching staff, to this team, possibly trading guys for whatever it may be, younger guy, who knows, but just something's got to change, especially, again, now more than ever. You can't keep running back the same team, especially with Rob Thompson coming back now. You got to switch things up, and that starts now with the lineup, with the pitching staff, with all this kind of stuff. It's going to be a fun offseason. It's going to be fun looking at all these rumors, diving into all these rumors, and just exploring all these possibilities that can happen heading into 2026 with potentially a new look roster. So stay tuned with us here on Phillies Daily, and continue liking, comment, sharing, subscribing, all that fun stuff, so we can keep bringing you all this awesome Phillies content throughout this fun offseason that we are about to explore. Now, with me talking about kind of hoping that the team brings in new fresh faces, doesn't run back the same team, it's so much more important than ever to maximize this window with Bryce Harper, with Trey Turner, with this starting pitching that's such a strength of this team. It's just very, very, very important for this roster, for this team, for this city to maximize the window. Obviously, the window probably has closed on this core group over the last 4 years of Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, Nick Castellanos, JT Realmuto, all those guys, with these guys getting older, some of these guys being free agents. That window most likely has closed, but that doesn't mean the championship window, the playoff caliber team window is fully shut on the Phillies. They still have Bryce Harper under contract for many years. Trey Turner, again, the pitching staff's a strength. Zach Wheeler, if he's back healthy, Aaron Nola, Christopher Sanchez. You still have Jesus Luzardo, Ranger Suarez walks. You have your top prospect coming up, hopefully, to join that rotation as well. You could always bring in other guys as well via trade, via free agency. So you still have good players. You still have a good team. It's important to maximize this window, not go into a full rebuild mode, but go into retool mode, as I said. Bryce Harper is only going to keep getting older. He's going to be 33 actually this week on Thursday, so just a day away now. He will be 33. Again, not getting any younger. He's only going to keep getting older. Didn't necessarily have a great year here in 2025. Missed some time with some injuries here and there. 261 batting average in 2025. That was actually his lowest batting average since his first season in 2019 when he signed with the Phillies, when he hit 260. Other than that, he obviously won an MVP with the Phillies, one of the best players in the league. He was batting 270s, 280s, 290s, 300 even the 1 year with the Phillies since then. So 261 in 2025, just not the typical Bryce Harper season we were accustomed to seeing. And then he was non-existent in the NLDS in those 4 games against the Dodgers. 3 for 15, which is 1 extra base hit, no RBIs in that 4-game series loss to the Dodgers to end the Phillies season. Very uncharacteristic out of Bryce Harper, because in those first 3 years of the Phillies playoff run in 2022, 23, and 24, Bryce Harper was great. He was playoff Bryce Harper. He was Mr. October for the Phillies. He had a 325 batting average with 9 doubles, 12 home runs, and 24 RBIs combined in those previous three playoffs before the 2025 playoffs, where he hit just 200, I believe, 3 for 15 with no RBIs, just 1 extra base hit against the Dodgers. So just very uncharacteristic out of Bryce Harper. Again, he's only getting older. He's going to be 33, so happy early birthday to Bryce Harper. But still, you have to maximize this window with Bryce Harper, why he's still young enough, why he's still good enough before those last couple of years when he's really old. And we've seen with a lot of these superstar players, as they end their big contracts, as they get closer to their 40s, they're kind of just falling off. Not the same guy they used to be. Still have their moments, but just can't rely on them to be that guy right in the middle of the order, one of your top guys, producing runs and winning championships. Again, just so important to bring in new faces, new talent, and possibly call up their top prospects as a part of that. Bring in that young energy and see what they can do. They are so talented, and I am talking about the Phillies' top 3 prospects. Andrew Painter, the big right-hander we all know, Justin Crawford, the outfielder, and Aiden Miller, the infielder, third base, shortstop, second base, wherever. Do they call all three of their top prospects up to start the 2026 season? If they let some of these guys walk, if they want to move around some guys, positions, whatever, do they bring up Andrew Painter to enter that starting rotation? Hopefully, we all wanted to see him in 2025. They expected him to be up around mid-summer there in July-ish after coming back from that Tommy John surgery. Just didn't have the year that they were hoping for. He did show some good stuff with his velocity, with some good games here and there, but just wasn't consistent enough. And with the Phillies starting rotation being a strength in 2025, there was just no need to rush Andrew Painter up with him not pitching as well as you would hope and not having his best stuff. No reason to potentially ruin his confidence early in his career as such a young guy in Andrew Painter. So they kept him down in AAA. Again, he showed some flashes here and there, but now with a full offseason, a full season pretty much under his belt, not full season, but close to it under his belt in the minors, now a full offseason healthy, and then moving into spring training and all of that, he can definitely enter the Phillies 2026 starting rotation. I'm sure they're expecting him to, especially if they let Randy Suarez walk in free agency. That opens the spot for Andrew Painter, Justin Crawford. Everybody wanted to see Justin Crawford up with the Phillies in 2025. The outfield for most of the year until the last month or two was not a strength of the team. Justin Crawford was absolutely killing it, raking down in AAA all season long. He hit 334 in AAA. His first full season at AAA, 334 in 2025 with the Iron Pigs in Lehigh Valley. He always done his hit since he was drafted by the Phillies in the first round a couple years ago at every single level, single A, low A, high A, double A, triple A. He deserves a chance to come up and show what he can do in the Phillies outfield. Obviously, it may look a lot different next year in the outfield with Max Kepler being a free agent, Nick Castellanos in trade rumors, Harrison Bader's future uncertain with that mutual option between them, possibly opting out of that, entering free agency. Who knows if he'll be back? Brandon Marsh, who knows what his future looks like here as well. So Justin Crawford, it's time for him to come up. I think he will be up opening day for the Phillies. He definitely should be, as well as Andrew Painter in the starting rotation. Adam Miller, he's a little bit of a question mark. Top prospect a couple years ago, young guy, infielder, one of their top prospects, obviously. He was promoted to AA for 2025. Struggled a lot actually. Had a hard time adjusting to the AA level there for first couple months of the season, but then he heated up as the season went on. Looked a lot like the guy that we saw the year before in 2024, and obviously the guy that they drafted a couple years ago in the first round with that extremely talented player, Adam Miller, in the infield. He actually heated up so much that the Phillies promoted him late season promotion to AAA this past season in 2025 to the Iron Pigs. So all three of the top prospects, Andrew Painter, Justin Crawford, Adam Miller, were all in AAA at this past season in 2025. They're all getting very close to their major league debuts to help this team at the major league level. Adam Miller's probably a reach to be on the opening day roster in 2026 compared to Andrew Painter and Justin Crawford, especially with the infield having Bryce Harper, Bryson Stott, Trey Turner, Alec Bohm all in it. Just not enough room for Adam Miller right away unless one of those guys are moved. Who knows? Some things to talk about as we move on in this offseason. But after his late season promotion to AAA in the Phillies organization here in 2025, Adam Miller hit 333 with 3 extra base hits, an RBI, 7 stolen bases, and 27 at-bats with the Iron Pigs. So he continued his hot stretch down at the end of the season, down the stretch. Obviously heating up in AA, getting promoted to AAA for those last couple of weeks of the season. Again, kind of a reach for him to join the Phillies opening day roster in 2026, but with a good spring training, who knows? And if the Phillies decide to move some guys around, maybe trade guys in the infield, they might open up possibility for Adam Miller to have a good spring training and to help this Phillies team as early season 2026. But Andrew Painter and Justin Crawford definitely should be up in my opinion. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Phillies Daily. I'm your host, Mike Kennelly. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. Still, we're all frustrated about the Phillies not being in the playoffs now, especially just having to watch the Dodgers now in the NLCS. But nonetheless, fun offseason. Stay with us here. And as always, go Phils.